I mean, look, Starmer wants to introduce this system now to allow more people under the age of 30 or even up to 40 to come in from Europe. How many of those are care workers? It's a completely flawed system that we won't pay care workers, but we will open the doors again to allow more people to come to this country.
Welcome back to Britain's Newsroom, and we're joined now by journalist and broadcaster Mike Parry and former Labour MP Stephen Pound in the studio to discuss all today's headlines. And of course, our very own Patrick Christys has been in Calais yesterday, and we're
doing great work.
And we're going to have a look at a couple of the clips that he took before we discuss them.
If I said to you, look, we don't have enough houses in England, would that stop you coming to England?
Okay. Maybe I come back in my country and I change in another country after.
Yeah, maybe you try another country. Yeah. If you realise that we can't afford England. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. This is going to sound awful to people who are just watching. I don't mean any disrespect to anyone who's here, but the smell is absolutely overpowering. You've got people on top of each other.
Oh, so Stephen Pound and Mike Parry. I'm glad he mentioned what he mentioned, tents there, because of course they don't stay in hotels in Calais, do they?
No, of course not.
By the British taxpayer.
No,
they have to stay in tents. Of
course, and it's costing us £4 million a day.
They're also not claiming asylum in Calais, are they?
Sorry,
they're not claiming asylum. That's the difference.
They're not claiming asylum in Calais because they come here. They know we're a much softer touch.
We are a soft
£4 million a day. Can I just link this with another story? Reeves created perfect storm as unemployment hits 4-year high, because in my view, £4 million a day is what we're paying out to accommodate people coming across the English Channel.
You just put them in hotels.
To put them in hotels, that's what I'm saying. So Rachel Reeves has got to raise money to put people in those hotels at £4 million a day. And yet I'm talking to the man who runs my local pub saying we're on the brink. We're on the brink of closing because of the extra taxes that have been put on, business rates, minimum wage increase, having to pay more national insurance, and having to take on fewer bar staff, which means they can serve fewer customers. Businesses in this country are on the brink, and it's all linked to the fact that she's putting up taxes to pay for things like us accommodating migrants in this country.
Mike, that's a completely false corollary. Look,
it is not false, Stephen.
Hang on a second. Let's get a couple of things straight. Firstly, if the economy is in such dire straits, why on earth are people risking their lives to get here? And secondly,
because we just add to our national debt in order to pay benefits.
All we're reading in the paper today is about a massive jobs crisis in the care sector. We don't have enough people working. There are more job vacancies in the care sector than ever before.
But that's a completely flawed policy.
It is, because we gave out 150,000 social care work visas, and it reduced the vacancy rate by 21.
When you say we, you mean the previous Conservative government? Because that was
the government over the past 2 years reduced the vacancy rate by just 21,000 jobs. You cannot claim that those social care work visas result in more care workers. They don't.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cyber criminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C-18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private Internet Access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GB News discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GB News to start protecting yourself digitally today.
Exactly. I
Believe me, they do. Not only because I'm not just talking about the primary one. Every care worker comes here, then used to have the right to actually bring their relatives in. I used to have cases where somebody was working in a care home and they bring in 14 cousins, completely legally under the previous government's legislation. That has changed.
Well, by the previous government. But I mean, what is Labour doing? What is Labour doing?
Exactly. Labour stopped it. They cancelled it. Hang on a second. They introduced an English language test for a stop, which it should have been done flipping years ago, and they've obviously cut down the number of
so they're going to test someone's English when they get off the boat, are they?
Hang on a
say your English isn't good enough.
No.
Is that what they're going to do?
Sorry, if they want to apply for British citizenship, then they have to actually subscribe to British values and speak the language.
That will never happen.
Is that true? Oh, I'm sorry, it is happening.
We know it will never happen. I mean, look, Starmer wants to introduce this system now to allow more people under the age of 30 or even up to 40 to come in from Europe. How many of those are care workers? It's a completely flawed system that we won't pay care workers, but we will open the doors again to allow more people to come to this country.
The Erasmus scheme is not remotely comparable. These are students, and it's a reciprocal scheme. Our people go to Italy, Italian
students are 28, 29, 27. How many?
Exactly.
They're not really students.
Exactly, of course. They're not. They're young people.
What we're talking about is this reciprocal. I mean, come on, there's people out there trying to...
Free movement of labour by the back door, Stephen, and you know it.
Millions of people are enjoying a sunny day, listen, and we're rowing about something that ultimately, surely we can all agree on a few basics.
And also, Stephen, it's dishonest because if, say, 150,000 come through this scheme, they're not going on the migration figures. They're being kept off the books.
And they're not entitled to any benefits. They cannot claim anything here. They cannot claim accommodation.
They go straight into the black market.
Hang on. They cannot go to National Health Service. They cannot apply for anything. And then they go back to their country.
How many of these young men on these dinghies coming over, sometimes 50, 60, 70 people on the same dinghy, how many of them are contributing to our economy?
Mike,
these are students.
It is a different argument to the Erasmus scheme. However, the Erasmus scheme is not totally reciprocal because there's a strong advantage for people in other European countries to come here to learn English.
Because of the language.
English is the global language.
Absolutely.
It's not the case that the same number of British students will go back.
And are we going to extend this to every single member of the European Union, all 27 countries? That's a lot of 18 to 30-year-olds, isn't it?
You see lots of people from Liverpool and Birmingham saying, I'm off to Naples or Florence because I want to work there. It just doesn't happen.
No.
Everybody comes here for all the advantages you've just outlined, including free use of the National Health Service.
Well, hang on a second.
Which is amazing.
Mike, I mean, I don't remember Wiedersehen Pet, which is a whole load of Geordie brickies going to work in Germany.
Yes.
People have always worked across borders in Europe.
Come off it.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
But I think the point is, though, Stephen,
it was a drama.
Talk about clutching at straws. Our Venus and Pet proves that the transfer of labour in Europe is working.
I'm sorry, what it proves is that it's been going on for donkeys.
Yes, but it's the scale, isn't it? And I think
that's where we agree.
Exactly. But the problem is...
You and Keir Starmer are on the same page here.
The Keir Starmer made a speech that sounded as though he's understood the problem, that on paper sounded like they intended to reform the immigration system.
They won't.
But if you dig through the detail, for example, the reforms on indefinite leave to remain don't apply to people already here.
Yeah.
So it's not going to make the blindest bit of difference to the hundreds of thousands of people coming. So
absolutely. And by the way, what about the extra benefits we're having to pay now to the 100,000 people who are now on the dole because of the economic policies of Rachel Reeves, who is economically illiterate.
Miriam has made a very, very salient and important point there. The people who are over here at the present time, they need to remain here and actually to actually be validated and have their positions sorted out, legalised. But we turn the tap off now. The people who are here at the moment, we need them in the care sector because they are in work and contributing.
Most of them are not working. The vast majority of people on visas are not working. They're not. They're mostly dependents and students. A tiny minority are working.
Totally agree.
That's what facts show. Anyway.
Yes. Let's not confuse this with facts.
Gentlemen, you will be back. You will be back.